Okay, so sitting cross-legged or on your knees, whichever is most comfortable for you, and just paying attention to sitting up straight. So just tilting the pelvis forward ever so slightly so that you've got a gentle curve in the lumbar spine, drawing the belly in and up, lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and back, and rest your hands on your legs, rising up through the crown of the head. And then close your eyes and just take a moment to arrive in your body. Noticing any emotions or mood. And then just beginning with a quick body scan. So starting with your awareness down in your feet. And bringing the awareness through the body, noticing any areas of tension or pain. So bringing the awareness up through the legs to the pelvis, feeling the weight of the pelvis releasing down into the floor. And bringing the awareness up through the torso, to the shoulders and arms, down to the hands. And then bringing the awareness into the neck and head, relaxing all the muscles of your face, softening lips, nose and cheeks, softening the eyelids and the eyebrows and the forehead. And then we'll take 3 deep intentional breaths together. So as you inhale right down deep into the belly, really filling the abdomen. And exhale, allowing the sitting bones to drop down one more. Again, inhale deep, wide into the sides and the back of the rib cage, really finding the full lung capacity. And exhale, allowing the shoulders to drop down and back. And then one more time, inhale, breathing right down into the belly, all the way up to the top of the lungs, rising up through the crown of the head. And exhale, let it go. Let your day so far go and set the intention to be present with yourself for the next hour. And your mind will wander, but anytime it does, just gently bringing it back to the present moment. Okay, and then raise your head and open your eyes, or not raise your head, just open your eyes. Interlace your hands in front of you, take a breath in, and breathing out, push the palms away, drawing the belly in and up. Take another breath in, and as you breathe out, start to move in the shoulder sockets. So drawing the belly to spine, stabilizing the torso, and just finding movement in the shoulder sockets. And only coming up so far as you can with the movement in the shoulders. So if that's a little bit more forward for you, that's fine. We're not going into a back bend here. Keeping that belly drawing in and up, start to stretch up, lengthening the sides of the torso. And keeping the breath flowing. And Patrick, with your shoulder, if anything like this feels weird, just do it without the arms. Leave your arms down and see if you can find that length just in the torso. I don't know how different movements are going to feel, but anything that you can kind of skip the arms, it's obviously going to be a different sensation, but See if you can find that same lift and lengthen, keeping your arms down. Okay, and then release the arms. Release the legs if you've got them crossed, and cross them the other way. If you're kneeling, you can stay where you are. Set up in a nice seated position again. Belly in, pelvis tilted slightly forward, chest, crown of the head rising. Then interlace the hands the other way, so whichever way you habitually do it, switch your grip. Take a breath in and breathing out, push the palms away, drawing the belly in. Taking another breath in, and on the exhale, moving the arms and the shoulder sockets slowly, mindfully, feeling how as you lift the arms, you have to really engage the core to stabilize the torso. And then lengthening the sides of the torso from the hips to the armpits to the wrists. Keeping the breath flowing. Notice if you're holding any tension anywhere that you don't need it, so maybe in the hips or the legs, and just focusing where you do need it. And then slowly release the arms, release the hands, and we'll come up to standing. Okay, find mountain pose, so bringing the awareness first of all down into the feet. I haven't talked about arches for a few classes, so if you all lift up your toes, you can feel how the inner arch of your foot lifts up, so you don't need to turn out to the side, I'm just doing it to show you. So lifting up the arch of your feet, feel that, lifting up the toes, feel that lift in the inner arch, and then see if you can allow the toes to come down, but keeping that bit of lift in the arch of the foot. And that, when we're going to the standing postures, you're trying to have that kind of engagement, that bit of lift on the inner arches, especially if you are prone to collapse. Okay, so, and then let's all lift up the toes one more time and just bring them down one toe at a time, and maybe lift them up one toe at a time. Maybe having a look down at your toes can help with this if it's unfamiliar. And then bring all the toes down, bring the body weight back slightly so that the hips are stacked over the heels. Engage the quadriceps, draw the belly in and up, squeeze the glutes, lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and back, and then extend the fingertips down towards the floor. Tadasana, mountain pose. Sense of kind of rising up through the center and the front of the body, so those inner arches still lifting, the kneecaps lifted, belly drawing in and up, chest lifted, crown of the head rising up to the ceiling. And then a sense of drawing down on the back of the body, so the shoulder blades drawing down, fingertips drawing down, and the heels planted firmly into the ground. And then maintaining all this alignment, take the arms out to the side if you've got space, in front if not, turn them in the shoulder sockets, keep the belly drawing in. As you lift them up above your head, palms facing in, and then lengthen out of the waist. Keeping the breath flowing, body weight still back over the heels, kneecaps still lifted, belly drawing in. Lift up one more time. And then bring your arms out to the side, turn in the shoulder sockets, and release them down. Okay, bend your knees, step or hop to a wide stride. As usual, we start with few warrior poses to get the blood flowing and the body warmed up a bit. So start with 2 heels in one line, body weight back over the heels. See if you can find that sense of lift in the inner arches of the feet, much more difficult in this position, obviously. Lift the quadriceps, lift the front of the pelvis, draw the belly in and up, and outstretch the arms in line with the shoulders. Turn the left foot in slightly and the right foot out 90 degrees. Have a look down at your right foot and make sure that the inside edge of your foot is parallel with the long edge of the mat. So make sure you're turning it out enough to get this full rotation of the right leg. Both legs are really straight at this point. And take the mind to the back foot, the left foot, push that heel down, engage this quadricep, and keep the mind there in that back leg. Keep it really active as you inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, sit down to the right. Again, have a look down at your right knee and make sure it's not falling in. Push it back to the little toe side of the foot and turn your head to look along your right arm. Keep the breath flowing and really active in that back leg. So push the heel down, lift the inner arch of the foot up, keep the quadricep lifted, draw the low belly in and up, lift the chest, extend through to the fingertips. See if you can find the same amount of stretch across the front of the chest and the upper back. Keeping the breath flowing. And still rising up with the chest and the crown of the head. Tall torso. And then bring your gaze to the front. Straighten your right leg, turn the foot round, relax your arms a moment. We'll go to the other side. So turn the right foot in and the left foot out. Inside edge of the left foot parallel, fully rotating that leg. 4 corners of the torso still facing the front. Inhale out, stretch the arms, mind in the back foot, push the heel down, lift the quadricep. As you inhale, lift the chest, keep the mind there in that back leg, and slowly come down, really resisting back with this leg. Have a look down at your left knee, make sure it's not falling in, push it to the little toe side of the foot, and turn your head to look along your arm. Again, really extending evenly across the chest and the upper back, so using the arms to open the top of the torso. Keep the chest lifted and the crown of the head rising up, pushing the back heel down, lifting the inner arch up, and keeping that quadricep lifted. Low belly draws in. And the breath flowing at a normal level in and out through the nose. See if you can sit down a little bit more, resisting back with the back leg, with the back arm. And then bring the gaze to the front, straighten your left leg, turn the feet round, and step or hop back to mountain pose. Body weight back over the heels, lift the quadriceps, lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and breathe. Inhaling, rising up through the chest, and exhaling, drawing the shoulders down and back. Okay, extended side angle pose. Step or hop your feet again to a wide stride. Turn the left foot in and the right foot out. Torso still facing the front, hands on hips, draw the elbows back to open across the chest. Make sure you've fully rotated this leg. Inhale, lift the chest, and as we sit down this time, not only are you gonna focus on keeping that back leg really firm, but focus on really isolating the movement in this leg. So the torso is gonna stay completely still and above the pelvis rather than kind of moving over to one side. So if you haven't already gone there, push that back heel down one more time. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale very slowly, just bending this knee. And I'm really, as I come down, I'm really, really active, resisting back with this back leg the entire time. So it's really just this leg, the right leg, that moves to come down into the posture. Then drawing the belly in, we're going to bring the right elbow to the right knee, use that elbow to push the knee back, active again through the back leg, check that it hasn't gone to sleep now that we've brought our body weight over here. And then with the left hand on the hip, draw that elbow back and start to find that rotation in the torso, turning the tummy and the chest up towards the ceiling. Take the top arm up and over, extend with the palm facing down towards the floor. And then you can either keep your elbow here on your knee, or you can bring it down behind the foot, just gently, fingertips to floor without any weight on them if possible. Draw the belly in, turn the torso up towards the ceiling, gaze up as well if you wish, and breathe here. If you have your fingertips on the floor, you can push the knee back into the elbow. If you've got your elbow on your knee, use that elbow to push the knee back. Keep the breath flowing. Left leg really active, extend the fingertips, find the stretch in the side of the body. And then bring the gaze to the front, come up the arms, and then the legs. And rest your arms a moment. I did a really strong leg workout yesterday, and my legs hurt. So that was hard for me. Hopefully it was hard for you as well, I don't know, or not. Turn the right foot in slightly and the left foot out all the way. Draw the belly in, lift the chest, find that stability in the torso, active through this back leg. And remember, we're really isolating here, just bending this knee and really, really maintaining the position of the rest of the body. So heel down, quadricep up. Inhale, lift the chest, maintain that tension in the rest of the body as we slowly sit down to the left. Then bring the left elbow to the left knee, using that elbow to push the knee back. Check that the right leg hasn't gone to sleep now that we've leant away from it. Draw the belly in and start to turn the tummy and the chest up towards the ceiling. Then take the top arm up and over, extending the side of the body. And if you wish, you can bring those fingertips down onto the floor behind your foot with hopefully not much weight in them. Draw the belly in again, turn the tummy and the chest up, and breathe. You can bring your gaze up as well, extending through to the fingertips, finding the stretch down the side of the body. Keep the breath flowing. See if you can sit down anymore, pushing the right knee, no wait, left knee into the arm, or using the elbow to push the knee back. And then bring the gaze to the front, come up with the arms, and then the legs. Hands on hips, step or hop your feet back together and breathe. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, extend the fingers down to the floor. Okay, we'll do warrior one into warrior three. So if you know you wobble in this posture, move so that you can hold on to a wall or something. So yeah, if you can. So if you have got something, start with your side face with the side to the wall, and then you can put your hands on it when the time comes. Okay. Step or hop to a medium stride. You can go really wide, but it's difficult unless you've got very flexible ankles. So if you go a little bit narrower for this one, that's going to be easier for most of you. Body weight back, engage the legs, draw the belly in. We're going to turn all the way now to the right side. So pick up the left toes and turn them in, and then pick up the heel and turn it out so that you've got this 45-degree angle. And then turn the right foot out all the way, turning the whole body now to face the right. Push the back heel down, really push this thigh back so the left leg is going to stay really, really strong and active throughout this posture. Squeeze your inner thighs together, bringing that back hip round. You can rest the heels of your hands on your hip bones to kind of see whether you're bringing your pelvis all the way round. And really active through the glutes, particularly the left glute. So pushing the tailbone down, trying to create a little bit of length here in the lower back. Then take the arms up above the head, palms facing in towards each other. Lift out of the waist, mind in the back leg, push that heel down again, and then bend your front knee as much as you can without losing the back heel to the floor. So really pushing that heel down, keep the thigh pushing back, squeeze your inner thighs together again, belly into spine. And then you can either hold it here or we can take it into a little bit of a back bend. If so, we lift up before we go back. So inhale, lift the arms, find more length in the torso, and then start to just trace the fingertips a little bit along the top of the ceiling. Check your legs are still really active, so really squeezing that right glute here. If we're going into a back bend, or even if you're not, you can still squeeze it. Trying to keep that length in the lower back. And the breath flowing. You can allow the head to drop all the way back if that feels good. Bending the front knee a little bit more. Okay, and then bring the torso to neutral. Draw the belly to the spine again, and then we're going to start to come forwards over the front leg. So again, let's lift up out of the waist before we come forwards, leaning the torso forwards, belly to spine, transfer the weight to the front leg, lift the back leg up, the left leg up, and find your warrior 3. So trying now to turn the left hip down to square it to the floor, and turn the toes straight down to the floor, drawing the belly in, lengthening the torso, gazing at a single point, using a support if you need to. Lift the back leg up a little bit more. And then slowly bring the back leg down, landing gracefully in your warrior 1. Straighten your front leg, turn your feet to the front, and relax your arms down for a moment. So now we're going to go to the other side. If you've only got a wall or something that you can use one side of you, Jessica, I'm talking to you, you turn around and then we do it to the other side. You're then going to hit that same wall. Okay, let's go. So we're going to the left. Turn the right foot in a lot, so pick up the toes, turn them in, pick up the heel, turn it out, and then turn the left foot out all the way. Hands on hips, and start to squeeze your inner thighs together to bring that back hip round. Again, you can rest the heels of your hands on your hip bones and see whether you're really bringing the pelvis all the way round. Push the back heel down, engage this thigh, really push it back, and squeeze the right glutes now to lengthen the lower back a little bit. Belly to spine, inhale, take the arms up overhead, lengthen up, keep the mind in the back leg, and then bend your front knee as much as you can, keeping the back heel really firmly planted. So as soon as we go down a little bit, the tendency is for the hips to turn out again a little bit. So see if you can find that squeeze, bringing the right hip forward and the left hip back. Squeezing the right glutes, really lengthening the lower back here. And then you can either hold it here or take it into a back bend, in which case lifting up out of the waist again, and then slowly starting to trace the fingertips back along the ceiling, finding that movement in the upper back, the thoracic spine, and relaxing the head to get back completely if you like. See if you can bend your front knee a little bit more, keeping that back leg really active, belly to spine. And then bring the torso to a neutral position. Reset a little bit, squeeze the inner thighs together. Inhale, lift up out of the waist again, and we're just going to start to tilt forwards over the front leg, nice and slow. Draw the belly towards the spine, gaze at single point, transfer the weight to the front leg, and then pick your back foot up. Trying to turn now the right hip down towards the floor, turn the toes down, keep the belly in, using your support if you need it. Really active through that back leg, extending the torso away. Keep the breath flowing, gazing at a single point. And then very slowly bring the leg back down. Control, landing in warrior one. Straighten your front leg and your feet around. Relax your arms and come back to mountain pose. Spread the toes, body weight back, lift the chest and roll the shoulders down, extending through to the fingertips. And breathe. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, lengthening the exhale if you can, helping to recalm the nervous system after we've been testing it. Okay, step or hop your feet again to a kind of medium stride and turn the toes in a little bit. So we're gonna take the arms, interlace the hands and take the arms back overhead. Patrick, maybe just keep your hands on your hips and work the shoulders back if that feels okay. So interlace your hands behind your back, push the heels down, lift the quadriceps up, draw the belly in, inhale, lift the chest, long front body, and then start to bend forward, keeping the front of the body long, so keeping in a little bit of a back bend. Coming to the point that you can, I'm just going to turn so you can see, coming to the point that you can, keeping your spine in a neutral position, so if you're having to round, then come up a little bit to the place where you can keep that neutral spine position, and then once you've found that position, you're going to start to work the arms away from the body, taking it into the shoulder stretch as well. Drawing the belly to the spine. And see if you can find, so you're obviously pulling your hands kind of up above your head, but see if you can open across the chest a little bit more. So draw the shoulder blades down and then lift the hands up even more, keeping the belly in, keeping the legs active. So push the heels down, lift the inner arches up, and keep the quadriceps lifting. Belly to spine and come up. If you've got your hands interlaced behind your back, then switch your grip, and we're going to do it again with the alternative grip here. So again, push your heels down, lift the quadriceps, belly in, inhale, lengthen the torso, exhale, coming down just so far as you can, keeping the spine neutral, belly to spine, and then start to work the arms away. Keeping the breath flowing, keeping the legs active, perhaps seeing if you can find a little bit more opening in the hips as well by bringing the lowest rib slightly closer to the floor. And then belly to spine and come up with control. And bring the feet back together. Brian, I just remembered that last time you said that was tricky for you, and what I meant to show was like as an alternative, you can start with this. If this is too much or not happening, you can just take hold of the forearms and draw that away a little bit. Sorry that I forgot to say that before we did it. Anyway, finding mountain pose. You lot are probably like, we've been in mountain pose for 30 seconds already. And breathe. Okay, step the feet this time to hip distance for chair pose. Toes in, heels out, body weight back, draw the belly in. Inhale, take the arms up overhead, lengthen out of the torso, and then sit down, keeping the knees tracking directly above the ankles. Sit your tailbone down as much as you can, really strongly draw the belly in towards the spine, and then take the upper body back. So you should be in a slight back bend here. You can bring the hands to the hips, make it a little bit easier, sit down a little bit more, lift the chest more, and breathe here. And then we're going to stand up, bring the arms down and step the feet together. One more time, this time with the feet together. Again, either hands on hips or inhale, take the arms up above the head, lift and lengthen and sit down as far as you can. Body weight through the heels, tailbone down to the floor, belly to spine, and then into a back bend. So really lifting the chest, keeping the breath flowing. See if you can sit down one more time. And then let's come up and exhale the arms back down. Okay, we'll do a little bit of shoulder work as that was requested. I'm sorry, Patrick, I'm not sure if this is okay for you now, but you can at least watch and learn, I guess, for future. So for this stretch that I know most of you probably know, we're going to focus on really finding the correct rotation in the arms. So I'm going to take a strong external rotation. So you're trying to bring your little finger of, I guess this is your left hand, forwards, and then taking it up, keeping that rotation and bringing the hand down onto your back. And then the other arm comes palm facing to the back, yeah, and bringing it together. So you might be able to grab your fingertips here, or you might just be having your hands resting on parts of your back. And then see if you can find a stable position in the torso. So check that you're not kind of adjusting to bring your hands towards each other. So hips are stable, find those mountain pose legs, drawing the belly in. And then the top elbow working up towards the ceiling and the bottom elbow working in, but maintaining the torso in a straight line. Okay, we're going to release and go to the other side. So bring now your right hand in front, find as much external rotation as you can, lifting it up and back. Left arm palm facing to the back and linking behind you. Obviously you can also at another time use a strap, or if you don't have a strap, a sock or a scarf or something to give a bit of tension if you can't reach your fingertips together. Body weight still back over the heels, kneecaps lifted, belly in and up. top elbow stretching up towards the ceiling, and the bottom elbow down. Breathing here. See if you can keep your, what will it be, your left side of your torso long as well, so not kind of crunching over to one side, but keeping the four corners of the torso even. And then we're going to release, coming out as you went in. And then we're going to come to eventually reverse namaskar in the next posture. If this is impossible for you, or you're kind of more like this, again, you're going to be working with holding each of the elbows or each of the wrists, and whichever position that you're in as we go into this posture, you're going to be working with trying to work the arms away from the body, so like this, or if you're in the full reverse namaskar, you're bringing the elbows back towards each other. Okay, so we're going to be doing that in a standing forward bend. So bring your feet together. Step 2, again, medium stride. So we'll start with the hands on the hips. Like we did with warrior 1, we're going to turn all the way to the side. So turn left foot in a lot and the right foot out all the way. If you're someone who struggles with balance, you can walk that foot out a little bit wider to make it a bit easier. Again, really squaring the hips to the side of the room, active through that back leg, push the heel down, push the quadriceps back, and then come to whichever variation of this that is right for you. And you should feel a bit of a stretch in the triceps. Squeeze those inner thighs together, draw the belly in, and then start to come forward again with that long front body, so as if you're aiming down with your lowest rib. So this is going to be really strong stretch down the back of the right leg. And again, I want you to not round here, so only come down so far as you can, keeping that neutral position in the lower back. And then once you've found your maximum range with regards to the stretch in your legs, start to draw those elbows back away from your body, stretching into the shoulders. Belly button to spine, lengthening the torso. So see if you can draw your chest forwards a little bit more, not down, but forwards, keeping the breath flowing. And then belly to spine, coming up to neutral, release your hands, turn to the front. If you're in the full reverse namaskar, you might want to just counter stretch the wrists. And then we're going to go to the other side, hands on hips, turn the right foot in a lot and the left foot out all the way. Again, fully turning to the side. And as we go down, we're really trying to keep this, keep everything in the lower body stable. So maintaining this full rotation of the pelvis. Push the back heel down, push that thigh back, squeeze your inner thighs together, and then bring your hands to whichever variation of the arms that you're doing. The big toe joint of the front foot, by the way, so of your left foot now, that's going to really help you balance. So really push down the ball of the big toe joint here. Belly to spine, inhale, lift up out of the waist, long front body, and then start to come forwards, gazing at a single point. Both legs are straight, trying to maintain that alignment of the pelvis. And then once you've come down to your maximum with regards to your legs, keeping the spine in a neutral position, start to draw those elbows back, stretching the triceps. Lengthen out of the waist one more, so bringing the lowest rib a little bit further down. Keeping the breath flowing. Is your back leg still active? Back heel pushing down, quadricep lifted. Breathing there. And then belly to spine. Come up to neutral. Release your hands and turn to the front. And back to mountain pose. Again, you might want to counter stretch your wrists if you were in reverse namaskar. And then come to the top edge of your mat, and we will make our way down to the floor. Body weight back, chest lifted. Inhale, take the arms up overhead, lengthen out of the waist, and exhale, come forwards to 90 degrees. I'm too close to the wall. Shift myself back a bit. Belly to spine, lengthening out of the waist. So just holding it here, using the back muscles to keep the weight of the upper body. See if you can find that bit of a back bend here. Both legs are active. And we'll inhale, come up to standing. And let's just do 5 of those with the breath. So inhale up out of the waist. Exhale, come forward as far as you can, neutral spine. Inhaling up, doing this with the rhythm of your own breath. Hands on hips if you need to. Really squeezing glutes at the top of the movement, drawing the belly to the spine. Keeping the torso long, especially the front of the body. I haven't been counting, but that was probably enough. So stopping at the top the next time you're there, and then this time we'll go all the way down. So one more time, belly in, inhale, lift up, and exhale, coming all the way down. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands to the floor, but more importantly, to get the stomach on the thighs. So you can really squat down a lot here if you need to. And relax the head, allow the crown of the head to draw down to the floor. And just take a few deep breaths here. Maybe bending one knee and the other knee. Loosening the lower back a little bit. Okay, and then step your feet back to a plank position, draw the belly in, push the floor away. Patrick, I hope you're being honest with yourself, and if this is not okay, just skip it for a bit. Draw the belly in, legs are strong, really active through the glutes. And then we'll just do a couple of repetitions of the little vinyasa. So body weight forward, elbows in tight, down to chaturanga. Drop your knees if you need to. Inhaling to up dog, shoulders away from the ears. Exhaling back to down dog. Inhaling to plank. Exhaling down to chaturanga. Inhaling to up dog. Exhaling to down dog. 2 more of these in your own time. And then bring the knees down and rest in child's pose. So either just relaxing completely, or if you want to be a bit active, you can creep the fingertips forwards, lengthening the torso. And then draw the belly in and work your way up to kneeling. So I'm gonna have a look at puppy pose and dolphin pose, which are both kind of opening in the upper back and shoulders. Again, if your shoulder's hurting, maybe just watch for today and apply them another time. So puppy pose, you're going to come to an all fours position, and once we go into it, you're trying to maintain your, what are they called, thighs vertical as we come into a back bend. So if you know it and you want to go in, then just go in, but you're not going to be able to see once you're in it, so maybe just watch first. So you're going to be coming down and resting the chin or the forehead, whatever's more comfortable for you, on the floor, and then this is going to feel a strong stretch in the upper back. And if this is super easy for you, you can start to work the elbows closer to each other, and then eventually we're going to come into this position if that's right for you. If it's difficult, you can keep your elbows out. In fact, Patrick, this is probably good for you, so you're still getting then here the stretch in the upper back, but without putting anything on the shoulders. So keep your forehead on the floor. Or you can come into this position, those of you who want some more of a stretch. Okay, so if you haven't gone in already, come to an all fours position, draw the belly to the spine, walk your hands forwards, bring the elbows down, and start to bring the chin or the forehead to the floor. Elbows wide is going to be much easier on the shoulders and just have the stretch in the upper back. Elbows close together takes it much more into a stretch into the shoulders. Again, also if you bring your chin forwards, that's going to increase the work in the upper back. And just holding, breathing here, whichever position is right for you. And then if you want to, you can bend your elbows, bring the hands again to a prayer position, working the chest towards the floor. And then if you've got your hands up, you can release them back down, bring the elbows wider, and come back to your kneeling position. Rest in Virasana for a moment, lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and back. Okay, and then dolphin pose. We'll come through, again, just watch if you don't really know it and you don't know where we're going. So we're going to come through downward dog. It's important that you have your downward dog long enough. So often you'll kind of see people doing down dog like this, and then it makes dolphin pose very awkward. So making sure that you're kind of starting with a generous distance between your knees and your wrists, and then you're going to tuck the toes, come into downward dog as we usually do, and then we're going to bring the elbows down to the floor. And see, I even want to walk my feet back even more, and then you can rest your forehead on the floor, and we'll work into the posture from there, and I will give you more guidance. Okay, so yeah, come to this kind of very generous kneeling position. So wherever you usually would be, step your knees back even more so that you've got a wide distance. Spread the fingers, tuck the toes under, drop the hips back to the heels, relax the head, take an inhale, and as you exhale, take the hips up towards the ceiling. Keep your knees bent and your heels up, and then turn the tailbone up towards the ceiling, and then perhaps straighten the legs a little bit more, but keeping the spine in a neutral position. Then bring the gaze forwards, and you're going to bring the elbows down to the floor simultaneously, and rest the forehead down. You may find here that you want to work the legs the feet back even more. And breathing here, again, turning the tailbone up towards the ceiling and maybe bringing the legs to a straighter position. And then drop your knees down and rest in child's pose. You can bring the arms back to the sides of the body if that feels good. And breathing into the upper back, into the sides and the back of the rib cage. And then draw the belly towards the spine. And roll yourself up. If you've got anything to sit on here, I would highly recommend sitting on something. What we're going to do Baddha Konasana. So I really want you to be able to sit up from the lower back in this. If you don't have anything to sit on and you find this position very difficult, then just come to kneeling. We're going to be working with the upper body anyway, so just kneel on your heels again. And if you're in Baddha Konasana, feet away is going to make it easier. Feet in a little bit more challenging, but we're trying to find that lumbar curve again, so tilting the pelvis forwards, much more difficult in this position, allowing the knees to come out to the side. So rather than focusing on pushing your knees down, see if you can think about pushing the feet together and lengthening the knees out to the side of the room. And then using the resistance of your hands on your ankles. If you're in a kneeling position, just take hold of your knees. And then we're going to drop, keep the shoulders down away from the ears, and then you're going to drop the head to one side, using that bit of resistance to stretch this trapezius muscle. Breathing here. And then turning your chin down, looking down towards the armpit, finding a bit of a different stretch. And then coming back to center, and we're going to go to the other side. So draw that shoulder down, keep it down, a little bit of resistance in that arm before rocking the head over to the side. And then looking down towards the armpit. Keep lifting the chest here and drawing the shoulders back. And then coming back to center. And then again, lift the chest, shoulders down. You can use the arms to pull against the legs to really keep the shoulders down. And then we're going to drop the chin down towards the chest. And then coming up to neutral. And then bringing the arm across your body. So this right arm to left ankle. Still keep the chest lifted. And then you're going to take the left arm back behind you, straight if you can, or if like me, you've got something there, you're going to come to like a cactus arm and use that to open across the chest. Draw both shoulders back. Keep the chest lifted, finding that gentle twist and opening across the left side of the chest. Probably better if you've got your arms straight. I don't have room to do that. And then come back to neutral, switch sides, so left arm to right ankle, lift up out of the waist, both shoulders down and back, and take the arm back straight if you can. And if you need to, draw the belly in, both shoulders working back away from the ears, and finding that twist and opening in the chest. And then come back to neutral. And then if you're in Baddha Konasana, we'll just do, since we've been here in this passive stretch for a while, just a little bit of active. So you're going to bring the thighs into the elbows and push into the elbows with the thighs. So you're resisting down with your elbows, squeezing your thighs in as if you're trying to close your legs, really squeeze here, push as hard as you can, squeezing those legs in, keep the belly in, keep the chest lifted. Just a few more seconds, and then release, and maybe find that the legs will relax down a little bit more. Chest still lifted, and then take the hands around to the side of the legs, close the legs, and we'll come over for Shavasana. Put anything on if you need to. Start with your feet hip distance and lower yourself down onto the floor. Keep the feet flat on the floor for a moment. Push the elbows down, lift the chest and draw the shoulder blades down underneath your heart. Push your feet into the floor, lift the hips and lengthen the lower back. And then bring your legs straight along the floor. Allow the feet to fall out to the side. The palms facing up towards the ceiling. Make any final adjustments so that you can be comfortable and still for the next few minutes. Perhaps take off your glasses if you're wearing any. And allow the body to be supported by the floor, relaxing the toes, the feet and the ankles, the shins, the calves, the knees, relaxing the thighs, the pelvis, feeling the weight of the bones, releasing into the floor. Relaxing the lower back, middle back, upper back, the abdomen, navel and chest. Relaxing the shoulders, the arms, the wrists and the hands. Relaxing the neck and the head, all the muscles of the face, jaw, tongue, lower lip, upper lip, nose and cheeks. Just soften, let go. Relaxing the eyes, the eyelids, the eyebrows and the forehead. Soften, release, let go. And just notice the sensations of your breathing, the air moving past the nostrils, and the gentle movement of the abdomen. you'd like to remain in Shavasana for longer, then please do so. But otherwise, slowly starting to invite the breath back to a more normal level, taking some deeper, fuller breaths. And then very slowly, mindfully starting to gently move the toes. How gradually can you invite movement back into the toes, into the fingers, and let that movement spread into the legs and the arms, gently shifting the body. Take a big stretch if that feels good for you. And then when you're ready, make your way back to a seated position. We'll just sit up straight one last time. Close the practice. So again, cross-legged or on your knees. Close your eyes. You can either rest your hands on your thighs or bring them to prayer position, resting the thumbs on the sternum. Bow your chin towards your chest. Take a moment to notice how you feel. To give thanks to yourself for making the effort to practice today. And maybe taking a little bit of the kindness and compassion that we cultivate for ourselves in yoga into the rest of your life. And then raise your head and open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone. Well done.